In the heart of an ancient mountain range, where whispers of legends still linger in the crisp air, a miracle unfolded under the watchful eyes of the stars. A wild mare named Luna gave birth to a foal unlike any other, a silver-coated wonder whose very existence seemed to defy the boundaries of nature. This wasn't just a birth. It was a phenomenon, a living testament to the mysteries that still dwell in the untamed wilderness. For Sarah Callahan, a wildlife biologist who had dedicated her life to studying these majestic creatures, this moment would challenge everything she thought she knew about genetics, connection, and the magic of the natural world. Sarah had spent years documenting the behaviors and lives of wild Mustangs, but nothing could have prepared her for what she witnessed that night. As the first rays of dawn illuminated the mountainside, the glow emanating from the tiny foal seemed almost otherworldly, a beacon of hope in a world often overshadowed by chaos. The bond between Luna and her newborn was immediate and profound, yet there was something more, an unspoken promise that this foal was destined for greatness. This tale will remind you that some miracles are meant to be cherished, not explained. It's a story of wonder, resilience, and the enduring power of nature to surprise us when we least expect it. Through Sarah's awe and Luna's fierce protection, we are reminded that even in our modern age, there are still secrets hidden in the wild. Secrets that remind us of the beauty and fragility of life itself. If this story resonates with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more inspiring tales of courage, connection, and the wonders of the natural world. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into the miraculous journey of the silver foal, a story that proves magic still exists if you're willing to look for it. Have you ever witnessed a moment in nature that left you speechless? Let us know in the comments below. As the morning mist delicately veiled the Colorado Rockies, wildlife photographer Sarah Chun meticulously positioned her camera on a ridge. For 3 years, she had been tracking Luna, a rare silver dapple Mustang revered by locals as the ghost mare. Luna represented the last known link to an ancient Spanish colonial bloodline that had graced the region 4 centuries ago. Her unusual coat, shimmering like moonlight, was a genetic marvel, occurring in less than 1 in 10,000 wild horses. Yet, it was her bloodline that rendered her truly irreplaceable. DNA tests had confirmed that she carried genetic markers from the original conquistador horses, preserved through generations of wild breeding. Sarah had diligently documented Luna's 8-month pregnancy, observing her growing heavy with the foal under the watchful protection of her small band, led by a powerful black stallion named Storm. Storm remained constantly by Luna's side, seemingly aware of the significance shared by all who observed her. This foal could be the last hope for preserving their vanishing lineage. As dawn broke across the valley, Sarah noted a change in Luna's behavior. The mare paced restlessly, her flanks heaving with contractions. She had chosen a sheltered grove of aspens near a pristine stream as her birthing site, a location concealed from predators yet visible from Sarah's discreet vantage point. The photographer's hands trembled as she adjusted her lens. In her 15 years of documenting wild horses, she had witnessed only a handful of births. This event, however, carried a profound weight, with the specter of extinction looming. Luna's band formed a protective circle around her, 5 mares and Storm creating a living barrier, their eyes vigilantly scanning for any sign of danger. Even the yearlings seemed to sense the gravity of the moment, standing unusually still and alert. Through her viewfinder, Sarah observed Luna lower herself onto the soft grass. Her silver coat darkened with sweat as the contractions intensified. The mare's eyes reflected an ancient wisdom, a knowledge passed down through countless generations of wild mothers. Then, Sarah noticed an anomaly that quickened her pulse. Luna's labor patterns deviated from the norm. While most mares gave birth swiftly, driven by an instinctual awareness of their vulnerability, Luna paused frequently, her gaze seemingly fixed on her swollen sides with an air of confusion. "Something's different," Sarah murmured into her recorder. "She's acting like she's waiting for something." Storm approached Luna, tenderly touching his muzzle to hers in a gesture that moved Sarah to tears. The stallion's typically fierce demeanor softened as he offered soft encouragement to his mate. As the sun ascended, casting its light upon the mountains, Luna's powerful body tensed with another contraction. Sarah zoomed in with her camera, capturing each detail of the mare's labor. The morning sun climbed higher, casting dappled shadows through the aspen leaves. 2 hours had passed since labor commenced, an unusually protracted duration for a wild horse. Storm pawed the ground anxiously, his black coat glistening with nervous sweat. The other Mares maintained their protective formation, their unease palpable. In the wild, prolonged labor signaled heightened danger. Predators could detect vulnerability from miles away. Finally, Sarah witnessed the first sign of progress, 2 tiny hooves emerging, encased in the white amniotic sac. Luna pushed with renewed vigor, her neck arching with exertion. The foal's legs appeared, followed by its nose, perfectly positioned for delivery. "Come on, Luna." Sarah breathed, her finger steady on the shutter button despite her racing heart. With a final, mighty push, Luna delivered her foal onto the soft grass. But as the foal fully emerged, Sarah gasped in astonishment. Even through her telephoto lens, it was evident that this was no ordinary newborn. The foal shared its mother's silver coat, but possessed an ethereal quality that seemed to capture and reflect light uniquely. More striking were its unusual markings. A perfect, crystalline star on its forehead and 4 white socks that extended higher than typically seen, creating an elegant, natural artwork. However, it was the foal size that truly distinguished it. The newborn was significantly smaller than average, perhaps only 2/3 the size of a typical Mustang foal. Despite its delicate frame, the foal displayed remarkable vigor, lifting its head within seconds of birth. Luna turned to her offspring, and Sarah captured the poignant moment of first contact. The mare's expression transformed from exhaustion to wonder as she began to groom her unusual foal. Her soft nickering filled the grove, a sound of pure maternal love that transcended species. The foal responded with a tiny, impossibly sweet whinny. Storm approached cautiously, his massive stature dwarfing the tiny newcomer. The stallion carefully sniffed the foal, then threw back his head and released a powerful neigh that echoed across the valley, an announcement to the world of his offspring's arrival. What transpired next caused Sarah's hands to tremble. The foal, barely 5 minutes old, attempted to stand for the first time. While most foals required multiple tries, wobbling and falling repeatedly, this tiny creature rose to its delicate legs with an almost supernatural grace, standing steady as if it had been born with the innate ability. The other Mares, drawn by irresistible curiosity, abandoned their protective circle. Each approached to inspect the extraordinary foal, their usual hierarchical behaviors suspended in the presence of this remarkable newborn. They gently touched their muzzles to the tiny creature, as if bestowing a blessing. Luna stood, still weak from delivery, but driven by maternal instinct, positioning herself to allow the foal to nurse. The foal found its source quickly, another unusual indication of its precociousness. As it nursed, its tail, longer and more flowing than typical, swished contentedly. Sarah realized she had been holding her breath. In her extensive experience documenting wildlife births, she had never encountered anything like this. The foal's rarity extended beyond its bloodline. There was something genuinely inexplicable about this newborn. "This changes everything," she whispered, recognizing that her footage had the potential to astound the scientific community. 10 minutes after the miraculous birth, the grove fell into an uncanny silence. The birds ceased their songs, and even the gentle breeze seemed to pause. Luna abruptly raised her head from grooming her foal, her nostrils flaring as she tested the air. Storm's entire body tensed, his ears pinning back in alarm. Sarah swung her camera toward the tree line, searching for the source of the horse's apprehension. Her blood ran cold as she detected movement in the shadows. The distinctive tan coat and muscular build of a mountain lion emerged, drawn by the scent of birth. The massive male, easily weighing over 150 pounds, fixed his yellow eyes on the tiny foal with unwavering focus. This was nature in its cruelest form, new life attracting death. Storm exploded into action, charging towards the lion with bared teeth. However, the cat was too cunning to engage a furious stallion directly. It circled wide, seeking an opportunity, aware of the mare's postpartum vulnerability. Luna positioned herself protectively over her foal, who instinctively pressed against her legs. The other Mares formed a tighter defensive circle, their fear evident. Mountain lions were among the few predators capable of killing an adult horse. The lion feinted to the left, testing their defenses. Storm wheeled to intercept him, his powerful hooves striking the ground as a warning. The lion retreated a few steps, but remained, exhibiting the patience honed by evolution. Then, an impossible event occurred. The tiny foal stepped out from beneath its mother. Luna nickered frantically, attempting to guide her baby back to safety, but the foal moved with the same extraordinary grace it had displayed earlier. It walked directly into the space between its parents, its crystalline star marking seeming to pulse with an inner light. "No, no, no," Sarah whispered, her finger frozen on the shutter. She desperately wanted to issue a warning, but refrained, fearing that any sudden noise could provoke an attack. The foal halted 10 feet from the crouching lion, its delicate legs steady despite its mere 20 minutes of life. Then, it performed an action that defied every natural law Sarah understood. It softly nickered at the predator. The sound was neither fearful nor challenging, but almost welcoming. The mountain lion's predatory focus wavered. His eyes, locked on the foal, began to express something Sarah had never witnessed in a wild predator confronting its prey: confusion. The cat's muscles, coiled to spring, gradually relaxed. Storm snorted aggressively, poised to attack if the lion advanced even an inch. But the foal nickered again, turning its head towards its father as if offering reassurance. The mountain lion sat down, behaving with the composure of a domestic cat. His tail twitched uncertainly as his predatory instincts clashed with an inexplicable force. The foal took another step forward, and the lion actually retreated. For 3 endless minutes, predator and prey remained locked in this extraordinary standoff. The foal displayed no fear, exhibiting a confidence that seemed to belong to a creature far older and larger. The lion's expression transformed from hunger to bewilderment. Then, as abruptly as he had appeared, the mountain lion turned and vanished back into the forest, not stalking, not hunting, simply departing. Sarah's hands trembled as she reviewed her footage, aware that her extraordinary recording would be met with disbelief without proof. Luna rushed to her foal, meticulously inspecting every inch, while Storm vigilantly patrolled the perimeter. Yet, the foal seemed entirely unfazed, resuming nursing as if encountering a mountain lion was commonplace. Word of the bizarre encounter spread through the mountains with astonishing speed. Although Sarah had not yet shared her footage, the wildlife seemed to possess an uncanny awareness. The grove became a pilgrimage site for the mountain's creatures, beginning with the birds. Ravens, typically solitary and wary of horses, gathered in the aspens above, observing an unusual silence instead of their usual cawing and squabbling. Hawks circled overhead, but exhibited no predatory behavior, their shadows passing over the foal without eliciting alarm. Luna grew increasingly protective as more animals arrived. A family of deer emerged from the forest, grazing closer to the wild horses than they would normally dare. The Mustang Mares should have chased them away. Wild horses were not known for sharing resources, but instead, they allowed the deer to approach. Sarah meticulously documented everything, her memory cards filling rapidly. Day 1, Hour 4, she whispered into her recorder. "I'm witnessing interspecies behavior I can't explain. Prey animals gathering near predator territory, displaying no fear response. The tiny silver foal appeared to be the focal point of it all. When not nursing, it moved among the assembled animals with an otherworldly grace. A curious doe even sniffed the foal, and Luna, known for her fierce protectiveness, having once kicked a wolf the previous spring, simply observed. Storm maintained his guard, but even the stallion seemed influenced by the strange tranquility settling over the grove. He abandoned his aggressive displays, though his watchful eyes remained vigilant. As the sun reached its zenith, a golden eagle landed on a low branch, another impossible occurrence. Eagles feared nothing, but typically avoided such close proximity to large mammals without a compelling reason. The massive bird studied the foal with intelligent eyes, its head tilting back and forth. The foal noticed the eagle and walked towards it, causing Sarah's heart to race. Eagles were known to attack young animals, their talons capable of inflicting serious harm. Luna nickered nervously but did not intervene, as if she, too, sensed the extraordinary nature of the situation. The foal stopped beneath the branch and looked up. The eagle gazed down for a moment that stretched into an eternity. They regarded each other, the ancient symbol of American freedom and the newest member of America's wild heritage. The eagle spread its wings, a 7-foot span that should have terrified the foal. Instead, the foal emitted the same welcoming nicker it had directed towards the mountain lion. The eagle folded its wings and settled back, seemingly content to simply observe. "This is unprecedented," Sarah breathed. Her career had been dedicated to documenting animal behavior, but nothing in her experience could explain this phenomenon. While different species might occasionally ignore each other, this gathering, this apparent communication, defied everything science understood about predator-prey relationships. A movement in her peripheral vision captured her attention. 3 coyotes had arrived, positioned at the grove's edge like attendees at a sacred ceremony. They displayed no hunting behavior, no pack coordination, only quiet observation. Luna had ceased her attempts to shield her foal from the visitors. The foal moved freely among them all, eliciting the same bewildered calm from each animal it approached. Even the insects seemed affected. Butterflies adorned the foal's silver coat like living jewels. Storm finally approached his offspring, touching his massive nose to the tiny one. The foal responded by pressing its forehead against its father's, a gesture that resembled a blessing being exchanged between generations. As Sarah changed her camera battery with trembling fingers, she understood that she was no longer merely documenting a rare birth. She was witnessing an event that would challenge humanity's understanding of the natural world. By sunset, the gathering had surpassed anything Sarah could have imagined. Black bears sat alongside deer, foxes near rabbits, predators and prey coexisting in an impossible harmony. The grove had become a neutral territory where the laws of nature appeared suspended. Dr. Marcus Webb, Sarah's colleague and a wildlife biologist, had arrived in response to her urgent summons. He stood beside her now, his scientific skepticism battling against the evidence unfolding before his eyes. "There has to be an explanation," he muttered, furiously taking notes. "Pheromones, perhaps? Some chemical signal we can't detect." However, Sarah sensed a deeper phenomenon at play. She had observed the foal for hours, and distinct patterns were emerging. The foal moved purposefully among the assembled animals, spending time with each species as if presiding over a gathering. And wherever it went, a sense of tranquility followed. "Look at its markings," Sarah pointed out. "Have you ever seen anything like them?" Marcus studied the foal through his binoculars. In the golden evening light, the foal's coat shimmered with an almost metallic sheen. The crystalline star on its forehead caught the light like a prism, scattering tiny rainbows. The genetics alone are fascinating. That silver dapple gene combined with something else, something we haven't cataloged. Luna remained close, but had relaxed her vigilance. The mare seemed to understand that her foal was safe, perhaps more secure than any wild foal had ever been, surrounded by nature's fiercest creatures turned gentle protectors. Then, the foal performed a new action. It walked to the center of the grove and lay down, its delicate legs folding beneath it. Within moments, The animals began to form concentric circles around it, predators in one ring, prey in another, all facing inward. "My God," Marcus whispered. "It's like they're protecting it." Storm positioned himself directly behind his offspring, the powerful stallion standing guard over this impossible gathering. The other Mustang Mares flanked him, creating an inner circle of family. As darkness began to descend, an even more extraordinary phenomenon occurred. The foal's coat began to luminesce, emitting a subtle glow like moonlight on water. The star marking on its forehead pulsed gently, resembling a visible heartbeat. Bioluminescence in mammals. Marcus's voice cracked. That's impossible. Horses don't have the genetic capability." "Nothing about this foal is following the rules," Sarah interjected. She had abandoned any attempt to rationalize what she was witnessing. She recognized that nature still held secrets beyond the grasp of scientific understanding. The gathered animals appeared unfazed by the gentle glow. If anything, they pressed closer, as if drawn to the light. A great horned owl landed silently, adding its presence to the assembly. Even the nocturnal hunters were arriving. Luna lowered herself to the ground beside her foal, her body curved protectively around the tiny form, yet her eyes reflected wonder rather than anxiety. She groomed the foal tenderly, and the glow seemed to intensify briefly wherever her tongue passed. "We need to contact the university," Marcus urged. "Get a full team out here. Genetic samples, behavioral studies." "No," Sarah's voice was firm. "Not yet. We don't understand what we're seeing. If word gets out, this place will be overrun. The foal needs time to be whatever it's meant to be." Marcus appeared ready to argue, but then the foal lifted its head and gazed directly at them. Despite the distance, Sarah felt the intensity of that gaze like a physical touch. Beside her, Marcus fell silent. In that moment, Sarah understood. They were no longer mere observers. They had been accepted into this extraordinary event, witnesses to something both ancient and unprecedented. Dawn broke over the mountains with breathtaking beauty, painting the sky with hues of rose and gold. The foal had nursed throughout the night, growing visibly stronger. The assembled animals had remained, some sleeping, others maintaining a quiet vigil. The grove had become a sacred space. Sarah had barely slept, documenting the events through the night using infrared cameras. The foal's subtle glow had persisted in the darkness, an ethereal beacon that seemed to offer comfort to all who beheld it. Remarkably, predators had hunted outside the grove and returned, honoring the unspoken truce within its boundaries. As morning light filtered through the aspens, the foal stood and began to walk. However, its gait was not the unsteady wobble of a newborn. The tiny horse moved with fluid grace towards the creek, its steps deliberate and sure. Luna followed, no longer attempting to control her offspring's movements. Storm and the Mares formed a loose escort, while the gathered wildlife parted to create a path. Sarah and Marcus followed at a respectful distance, cameras at the ready. At the creek's edge, the foal lowered its delicate muzzle to drink. The instant its lips touched the water, an extraordinary phenomenon occurred. The creek, flowing swiftly with snow melt, calmed in a perfect circle around the foal. The water became mirror still, reflecting the foal's image with crystal clarity. "Thermodynamics don't work that way," Marcus breathed, his scientific objections weakening with each impossible event. The foal raised its head, water droplets sparkling on its whiskers like diamonds. Then, it turned to face the assembled gathering and emitted a sound unlike any equine vocalization Sarah had ever recorded. It was musical, almost chord-like rather than a single note, carrying across the grove with surprising power. Every animal responded. The birds erupted into a simultaneous dawn chorus, a symphony of different species singing in unprecedented harmony. The coyotes howled, the elk bugled, and even the typically silent deer added their voices. The sound swelled, creating a natural orchestra with the foal as its conductor. Luna contributed her own maternal whinny, weaving through the other sounds, while Storm's powerful neigh provided a grounding bass note to this wild music. For a perfect moment, the mountains themselves seemed to join in the song. As suddenly as it began, the chorus ceased. The animals fell silent, but the air still hummed with residual energy. Sarah realized that tears were streaming down her face. Beside her, the previously skeptical Marcus had lowered his camera, too moved to continue documenting. The foal walked back to its mother, seemingly satisfied with its actions. As it moved, Sarah noticed a new phenomenon. Where its hooves touched the ground, the grass appeared greener and more vibrant. It was subtle but undeniable, life responding to life. "It's not just special," Sarah whispered. It's healing something, bringing balance." An old Native American legend surfaced in her memory. Stories of spirit horses appearing in times of great need, acting as bridges between the physical and spiritual realms. She had always dismissed them as mythology. Yet now, the foal nursed again, a normal baby seeking its mother's milk despite the extraordinary events surrounding it. Luna groomed her offspring with infinite tenderness. In that moment, Sarah perceived a perfect duality, the miraculous and the mundane coexisting harmoniously. As the sun climbed higher, some animals began to disperse, resuming their natural routines. However, their movements were altered. Predators followed paths that avoided prey, as if the peace of the grove had extended beyond its confines. The foal had changed them all, Sarah realized, herself included. 3 days had passed since the miraculous birth. The grove had returned to relative normalcy, although animals continued to visit throughout the day, drawn by an inexplicable force. The foal had grown stronger, nursing regularly and engaging in playful activities. Its play included prancing through wildflowers, which seemed to bloom more vibrantly in its wake. Sarah made a decision. Her footage would remain private for the time being, shared only with a select group of scientists sworn to secrecy. The foal required protection, time to mature without interference from the outside world. Marcus concurred, setting aside academic ambition for a greater purpose. Their observations had revealed remarkable developments. The foal's extraordinary abilities seemed linked to its emotional state. When content, a subtle glow emanated from its coat. When it played, flowers bloomed and butterflies gathered. When it called, animals came, not compelled, but invited. Luna proved to be an exceptional mother, fiercely protective, yet granting her special foal the freedom to explore its gifts. Storm led the band with renewed purpose, keeping them within the sheltered valley instead of adhering to traditional grazing patterns. The other Mares had assumed the role of aunts, each participating in the upbringing of this extraordinary child. On this particular morning, Sarah observed the foal interacting with an injured hawk they had discovered the previous day. The bird's wing was damaged, likely from a territorial dispute. It should have been defensive and fearful. Instead, it remained calm as the foal gently sniffed its feathers. What followed prompted Sarah to grab her camera. The foal touched its tiny nose to the hawk's injured wing, and its soft glow intensified. The bird experimentally stretched its wing, then fully extended it, taking flight with a cry of freedom. "No healing should be that rapid, that complete," Marcus declared, his tone shifting from denial to wonder. The foal pranced back to its mother, clearly pleased with itself. Luna nickered proudly, and Sarah detected what appeared to be understanding in the mare's eyes. Perhaps Luna had always known her foal would be special. Perhaps it explained the prolonged pregnancy and the unusual birth. As the afternoon approached, the foal did something new. It walked directly to where Sarah and Marcus sat observing and stopped in front of them. Up close, its eyes possessed a depth that seemed ancient despite its youth, a wisdom wrapped in innocence. The foal reached out with its muzzle, touching Sarah's outstretched hand. The contact sent a wave of warmth through her entire being, a sensation that transcended the physical and touched her emotions. Every worry and fear seemed to dissipate, replaced by a profound sense of certainty. "We'll keep you safe," she whispered, "until you're strong enough to do whatever you were meant to do." The foal nickered softly, then pranced back to its family. Storm approached his offspring, and they touched foreheads in their daily ritual. Each time, the stallion seemed to stand a little taller, as if drawing strength from his remarkable child. As the sun began its descent, bathing the mountains in warm light, the Mustang band moved together towards the heart of the valley. The foal walked between its parents, its silver coat shimmering, its star marking radiating promise. Sarah knew their lives had been forever changed. She had initially come to document the continuation of a rare bloodline, but had instead witnessed something that transcended mere genetics. This foal was not merely special, it was essential. It served as a profound reminder that nature still held miracles, that connections between species were possible, and that healing could manifest in the most unexpected forms. The mountains seemed to embrace the small family as they disappeared over the ridge. Yet, Sarah knew they would return tomorrow, and she would be there, waiting. She was now the guardian of a secret, the protector of a miracle, and a witness to hope reborn on four delicate hooves. Some stories, she realized, were not meant to be fully understood, only cherished and protected. For Sarah, this experience was transformative. She realized that some gifts are not meant to be shared with the world, at least not yet. Instead, they are meant to be protected, nurtured, and celebrated in their purest form. As she turned back toward her cabin, the weight of her responsibility settled over her like a warm blanket. She was no longer just a scientist. She was a guardian, a keeper of a secret so profound it could change the way humanity viewed the natural world. This story is a powerful reminder that even in our fast-paced, technology-driven lives, there are still moments of wonder waiting to be discovered. Whether it's witnessing the birth of a silver foal or simply pausing to notice the beauty around you, these moments reconnect us with the essence of life itself. If this tale touched your heart, please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories of hope, discovery, and the incredible bonds that unite us all. Share this story with someone who needs a reminder that miracles still exist. And let us know in the comments, what lesson did you take away from the journey of Luna and her silver foal? Thank you for joining us today. And remember, sometimes the greatest magic lies in the mysteries we choose to protect.